Oh, snaps!
The world is finally waking up to the crap that's baked into and sprayed on kibble dog food. No longer can commercial pet food manufacturers fool us with pretty pictures and false promises. This is the raw dog food truth. The view and opinions expressed on this podcast are not intended to replace medical advice. Before starting any raw diet, do research, ask lots of questions, and consult your vet.
Well, hello, raw feeders. I'm Dee Dee Mercer-Moffat, the CEO of Raw Dog Food and Company. Your pet's health is our business, and we're friends like my friend, Dr. Andy. Why we don't let friends feed kibble? Good morning.
Good morning. When do I get a mug?
I can get you a mug. I'll bring you a mug today when I come see you.
Okay, I want a mug. Then we fold them up together.
Right?
For those folks that didn't see.
Right. So how are you on this Monday morning?
I'm good. I'm getting a little sick of winter, but
It happens every time this time of year
Yep.
here in Colorado because the winters are long, right?
Especially at the elevation we're at, they're a little
Right.
longer.
We got snow coming today, so I got to
Yep.
get my walk in sometime between the time I finish this and come see you and bring Lozzie over to get adjusted. And I'm still doing my hard 75, and
Where you at?
we are on day 30. What day is this? We are trucking along. This is day 39. Day 39
Congratulations.
out of 75. So, you
Amazing.
don't want to fail at this point because
No.
I'm not starting over. Okay. Hey, I want to ask you a question. Have you seen the interview with Tucker Carlson and the TrueMed guy? His website is called TrueMed, but they're talking about the Ozempic product. Have you heard that one?
I know the product. I have not seen or heard that interview. So
You should watch it. And I think every one of our listeners should watch it. And here's why. The guy is not talking about raw dog food. The guy is not talking about rabies shots or anything else. But everything he says, talking about the pharmaceutical industry, is exactly what we say every single podcast.
Mhm.
And his sister, and he wrote a book. I think his sister was either a doctor or a pharmacist, and got out because of what they were seeing. And so I think that the reason I would like for our listeners to watch it, and it's not that long, it's very entertaining, it's very informational, is because you get this better picture of why we're always saying, hey, maybe you don't want to be doing that and putting that into your dog, regardless, guys, of if it's the law.
Ha ha.
And is it the law? So it's very important that you guys watch that. Again, just Google Tucker Carlson interview Ozempic or however you say that word. Ozempic. Yes.
Yes.
And
that's a peptide everyone is taking to lose weight.
just do 75 hard.
Yeah.
This way you're not, or fast. And I want to talk to you a little bit about fasting, Dr. Andy, because you're big
I
on
do that a lot.
fasting.
Yeah.
And what's the theory? Because I want to relate this to the dogs too. But what's the theory behind fasting as far as why? Why fast?
Well, there's actually more than theory. There's actually science, and they've
There you
actually broke it down into, if you do it for 12 hours, this is what's going on with your cells. If you make it to 16, this is what's going on. If you make it to 42, this is what's going on. I did a 72-hour fast recently, and that, if you do it that long, you start getting into your immune system reinventing itself, getting rid of old, sad, sorry cells that are just hanging around. They call them zombie cells. Apoptosis is going on, autophagy is going on, which they're eating their own cells up, getting the waste out. Plus, you don't need to be putting stuff in all the time. Sometimes the body needs a break. And actually, no one should snack ever. It's really hard on the liver. I've been failing at that ever since I got back from my vacation. I need to get back into eating every 4 to 5 hours. How much does this correlate to our pets? I don't know yet. But if you have an ill, if you have an ill animal, you may want to do less snacking, more spacing. That doesn't mean they don't have that third meal in between. But we talk about it all the time. I talk about it with clients. If stuff is coming out poorly, stop putting stuff in. Give the body a break. If you're having diarrhea, skip a meal, skip a day. If you have a relatively healthy middle-aged dog, do it. So I have some raw feeders that skip a day every week.
Well, and here's what I want to say about that. It will save you money. So
yes, that too. It will.
It may save your dog's health, and it may save you some money because, you know, a lot of folks that listen to us on the podcast, they ship, right? They're going to ship their food. And unfortunately, Dr. Andy, UPS just refuses to do anything free. And, you know, I don't blame them for all of the packages that they have to lift. And so I always say to my pet parents, listen, fast one meal or one day. Now, in Dr. Brady's book, he goes over this and he's like, now he feeds his dogs at night because he says his one, you know, when he feeds once a day, he said that the liver works better at night. Now I'm doing the opposite. I'm feeding Lozzie in the mornings. Now,
and he's correct. The liver does work better at night. And if we're feeding raw and we're feeding a higher protein diet, yes, that does need to be fed at night. But then you have the flip argument. I don't know where I land that in the morning, you want to capitalize on the higher cortisol anyway, and you want to feed then instead of spiking the cortisol in the evening again. So I don't have an answer. I tried going to one meal a day. Oh, that would have been wonderful. And I think once I have less dogs, I'm definitely going to do it. But I have 5 of them. We always had a bile puke out of somebody. And I'm like, this is just, I can't, it's cleaning up puke every single day. I'm like, I gave up. I did throw the towel in. I do think once a day is definitely a better idea. I really do.
Well, something that you would be interested in, and maybe you already know this, but when I was reading about fasting dogs in Dr. Connor Brady's book, he said, fasting may also boost recovery after acute spinal cord injury, which I found that fascinating. He said, compared to controls, fasting rats, now I will say a rat is not a dog, but fasting rats with damaged spinal cords showed that they recovered better, had smaller injury site lesions, and increased neuronal regeneration after rats fed more liberally. So so what do you think about that?
I can't say that I knew that, but it makes perfect sense in my head once you said it, because if you're not shoveling food into the body and the body has to digest, and maybe the body's having a little inflammatory response to what you're feeding or whatever, and you give the body a break on that, it can focus on some other stuff to do. It can focus on healing. So yeah, absolutely.
Isn't that funny, Dr. Andy, that we think it is abuse, just dog abuse.
Absolutely.
Get to eat every daggum meal because, of course, they're staring at us and they're wanting it. But the research shows that, as you were saying, it's going to eat up. It's going to get rid of those lazy, bozo, no good, cancer-causing cells in our body. So the question really is, folks, do you want to leave those no good, lazy sphincter cells in the body, or do you want to help your dog be healthy? Right. And this is the dichotomy that we face every single day with what we talk about. Do you want to put the toxins in the body because you have a fear, because you have a belief that you haven't really researched? Okay. And we We just can't stand the thought of our dog not eating every single meal.
Yeah.
And he even states in here, as we have stated many times, there have been research studies. Dogs have been able to live 100 days, Dr. Andy, not without water, but without food. So one meal, come on.
I had a client a few years ago, bulldog, massive diarrhea, massive,
Ew.
and she was raw fed. I don't think we ever figured out what the flare up was about. Went to the ER, was given all the usual meds that you get. And then for some reason, I think the other dog in the household had an appointment. So they brought her along that day. They were there all night. And she's like, I'm not giving her these. I'm like, okay, then why did you go to the ER? Because that's what they do. She just looked at me. I go, you need to not feed her today. And she flat out said, I will not do that. I go, well, then enjoy the diarrhea. We're done talking. I I don't know what to do then. She lit like flat out, I will not do that. Okay, well then enjoy the diarrhea. This was like a 4-year-old, otherwise healthy, fine bulldog, right? Like she was good. And I like skip a couple meals, and that's just what we're talking about. You give the gut a rest, right? The dog doesn't feel good. The dog will probably still eat because it's a dog, but if our guts are a mess, we don't go off eating a full meal. We probably lay on the couch, chill out, drink some water.
The body's designed like that. And Dr. Brady talks about that. He said, look, when there's something going on in the body, whether that's human or dogs, typically it shuts off that desire to eat. Why? Because the body's busy doing something else to repair. And this is the one area that pet parents run to the vet. Oh, my dog didn't eat. So what?
Or they're trying this, or they're trying this, or they're trying this, and they're forcing some stuff in there when the body's just like, hey, can you give me a day?
Yeah.
I'm handling something here.
So this 75 hard, I got to walk outside every day. I got to do a 45-minute walk. So Lozzie always goes. Yesterday, I noticed that as we were walking, she's eating like these weeds that are dead.
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
Do I freak out? No, I'm just like, okay, she had a raw meaty bone the day before, plus some food, and her poops were a little hard. So what did I do? I gave her tripe. Maybe the tripe was like, I don't know, not setting well. She wasn't vomiting. She didn't have diarrhea, but she's eating like, and maybe it's,
but my poodle does that occasionally, and I'm like, dude, just don't puke in my house. Can you puke on the walk?
Right.
That's it. Like, I know what he's trying to accomplish with this. He doesn't do it all the time.
Right. And I think if we step back and we watch our animals, they can teach us a lot. But we interrupt that process a lot of times. And I think the biggest thing that I see pet parents doing is if a dog doesn't eat, okay, if a dog throws up, and again, there are different iterations of vomiting, right? Is it food? I don't know why those balloons come up. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I don't know if it's when I hold my hands up. I've talked about this on the Zoom does these weird things.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. So if I go like this, you see?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's very weird. If you do it, does it come up? Does a finger come up?
You must have a setting on.
Oh, I got to find that setting. Setting says,
Yeah.
fill in the gaps or something like the COVID test. But anyway, I digress. What was I saying, Dr. Andy? It probably wasn't important if I can't remember.
Very distracted by the balloons.
I'm having a Biden gaffe. Excuse me. I don't know what I was gonna say. Anywho,
hard.
no, I'm just.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
If a dog vomits, if a dog has diarrhea, okay, big deal. They're trying to get something out. No worry.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have people that run in there say, I'm going to do a blood test. Okay. If you have just a lot of extra cash sitting around, go ahead. Go
I
do
guess
it.
I still rather not give it to the veterinarian corporations, but that's
Oh
just me.
gosh. After watching the Ozempic interview,
Oh, I'm so gonna go watch that.
you got to watch that because and this guy his website is called True Med. True Med.
MED.
Yes,
Med. Okay.
TRUE Med. And they're really trying to do what we're doing here. And then also I had another customer from California um that just started feeding our raw, and she has a great company out there, and she said she doesn't vaccinate. They work with people. And she said, look, it's all about eating right, moving the body, and, taking the right whole food supplements if you're going to do supplementation. Talks just like we do in the dog world, right?
Mhm.
It is really, really simple. And yet there's the big pharma and big pet food that does not want this information to be out, right?
No.
And they will forever and a day use their marketing to overcome any kind of questioning that you might have.
Yep. And we need to start questioning everything.
Yeah.
And that marketing's just propaganda anyway.
Right. I mean, he's talking about how much money is in Ozempic, how much gut disruption it's causing, and how it's changing the brain.
Well, it's affecting the hypothalamus and it's affecting the thyroid too. Like we're going to have even more sick people here shortly.
And he's like Wall Street, and everybody is just like salivating because they're going to make so much money on this. Because why? They push processed foods, right? So you can be fat and happy and lazy, not think. And right?
Everything so you don't think.
Do not. This is a thinking show, though, Dr. Andy. This is a thinking show. Okay, gotta think. And then they're gonna make all this money. So I just want people to watch that interview because people may think that we just are biased.
And we are, and that's fine.
Yeah, we are. We want your dogs to be healthy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know, terrible us.
But sometimes people come at us with pitchforks, and I'm going to say that over and over again. If they think that their dog is, it's a bad batch, and you say, okay, let me just give you the facts. It's like, how dare you? I'll never buy from you again. How dare you give me the facts? And it's like, all right, I don't know how to help you then. Why would I lie to you? Why? I have no reason to lie to you.
Nope.
All right, Dr. Andy, you got to go because I got to go because I got to
go.
I got to come see you. I got to come see you.
Yeah.
And I got to come get Lozzie all fixed up. Listen, you want to get over to your new site is going to be coming out soon, right?
It's coming out soon. This rabbit hole of what it's going to become in the future. We're trying to get a really solid foundation. So yeah, it's coming this month. New site, new community. Super excited.
Well, as long as you don't say what month, then you're totally protected about that. Okay.
Yes, this month.
All right. But in the meantime, you can still work with Dr. Andy. It is at animalmagiccare.com, animalmagiccare.com. Get your dog on a species appropriate diet. You're not going to get anywhere on the kibble, folks.
Nope.
Get them off of it today. Get over to rawdogfoodandco.com, where your pet's health is our business. And what, Dr. Andy?
Friends don't let friends feed kibble.
That's right. We'll see you soon, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.